In the dawn of human consciousness, the natural world was not merely a backdrop for survival, but a realm of profound mystery and power. Every gust of wind, crackle of fire, rush of water, and trembling of the earth carried the weight of divine presence. People lived in awe of these forces, recognizing them as the architects of existence and destruction. Amidst this reverence, women emerged as intermediaries between these elemental forces and the human soul. They became priestesses, guardians of the sacred, their lives entwined with rituals that sought to interpret and balance nature's power. These women embodied an innate understanding of the earth's rhythms. Rituals were not arbitrary acts, but carefully choreographed ceremonies that mirrored the elements they sought to honor. The priestesses, adorned in garments symbolizing their elemental connection, moved with precision and grace. Their dances were not mere performances, but acts of communion. The sway of their hips could mimic the rolling tides, while their hands, reaching skyward, invoked the invisible currents of air. The elemental dance was both a prayer and an offering, an acknowledgement of humanity's dependency on forces greater than itself. Through these movements, the priestesses conveyed a language unspoken, yet universally understood. Across cultures, this connection to the elements took on unique forms. The fierce energy of volcanic eruptions, the serenity of flowing rivers, the steadfastness of the mountains. Each found a reflection in the rituals performed by women. In the Norse sagas, women who could control the wind or summon storms were revered and feared, their abilities tied directly to the elements' capricious power. In India's Vedic traditions, priestesses were central to fire ceremonies, their dances said to kindle the flames that carried prayers to the heavens. These practices revealed a common truth. Women were seen not only as nurturers of life, but also as custodians of nature's equilibrium. The role of these priestesses was not limited to religious duties. It was a testament to the human need to find harmony with the world. By honoring the elements, they reminded their communities of the delicate balance that sustained existence. These rituals were as much about survival as they were about spirituality. The priestesses taught reverence for the earth, fire, water, and air, fostering a sense of responsibility and gratitude for the gifts they provided. This primal relationship between humanity and the elements would serve as the foundation for countless myths and traditions, a legacy that endures even in the fragmented echoes of today's spiritual practices. Fire, the most captivating of all elements, has always inspired a mixture of fear and reverence. It is both a creator and a destroyer, capable of warming homes and reducing forests to ash. In ancient times, fire symbolized transformation, a force that could purify, renew, and even punish. Priestesses dedicated to fire were often seen as mediators of this volatile power. In cultures like those of the Celts, Mayans, and Hindus, fire ceremonies were central to both daily life and major religious events. The women who presided over these rituals were embodiments of fire's transformative energy. Fire's association with transformation extended beyond the spiritual realm. In many cultures, it was used as a rite of passage, a test of courage, or a means of purification. Priestesses often played central roles in these rites, guiding initiates through the flames metaphorically or in some cases literally. Their dances, which mimicked the leaping tongues of fire, became a form of storytelling, a way to teach and inspire awe. Through their movements, they conveyed the lessons of fire, that destruction can lead to rebirth, and that respect for nature's power is essential to coexistence. Water, the lifeblood of the earth, has always been seen as a source of creation and renewal. Its ceaseless flow mirrors the cycles of life, from birth to death to rebirth. Priestesses associated with water were often seen as custodians of this eternal cycle, their rituals invoking the element's power to heal, purify, and nourish. From the sacred rivers of India to the healing springs of Europe, water priestesses were revered figures who bridged the physical and spiritual realms, ensuring the prosperity of their communities through their deep connection to this vital force. In ancient Egypt, the Nile was more than just a river. It was a deity, a lifeline for the entire civilization. Priestesses of the Nile conducted elaborate rituals to honor the river's annual flooding, which brought fertile silt to the land. Their dances, fluid and deliberate, mimicked the undulating waves and the gentle ebb and flow of the water. These movements were not just symbolic, but also believed to influence the river's behavior, ensuring a bountiful harvest. The priestesses, through their sacred connection, became vessels of the Nile's divine energy, embodying its nurturing and life-sustaining qualities. In the Yoruba tradition, priestesses of Oshun, the goddess of love and freshwater, were central figures in rituals involving rivers and streams. These women performed dances that mirrored the playful and seductive qualities of flowing water. Their movements, often accompanied by drums and chants, were thought to call upon Oshun's blessings for fertility, love, and prosperity. The rituals also served as a reminder of water's dual nature: gentle and life-giving, yet capable of immense destruction when disrespected. Priestesses of Oshun were not only spiritual leaders, but also guardians of the sacred balance between humanity and water. In Europe, sacred springs and wells were often tended by women who acted as intermediaries between the earthly and the divine. These priestesses performed dances and offered rituals to ensure the purity of the waters, which were believed to have healing properties. Their connection to water was deeply symbolic, representing the flow of life and the emotional currents that shape human existence. Through their dances, they told stories of creation, love, and renewal, their movements as fluid and unpredictable as the element they revered. The earth, with its fertile soil and steadfast presence, has long been seen as the ultimate giver of life. It is the womb from which all things emerge and to which they return. Priestesses associated with the earth were revered as the protectors of this sacred cycle. Their rituals reflected the profound interconnectedness between humanity and the natural world. Across cultures, these women embodied the nurturing and stabilizing qualities of the earth, performing dances and ceremonies that honored its fertility and abundance. In Neolithic Europe, the earth was personified as a goddess, and her priestesses performed rituals to ensure the fertility of the land. These dances were deeply symbolic, often mirroring the planting and harvesting cycles. In the Andean cultures of South America, the Pachamama, or Mother Earth, was venerated through elaborate ceremonies led by priestesses. These women performed dances that symbolized the earth's rhythms, from the rolling hills to the towering mountains. Their movements were a prayer for fertility, stability, and harmony, echoing the deep respect their people held for the land. Through their rituals, they reinforced the idea that humanity was a part of nature, not separate from it, and that the earth's well-being was inseparable from their own. The priestesses of the earth taught their communities to live in harmony with the land, respecting its gifts and honoring its cycles. Their dances were a reminder of the earth's power and generosity, a call to care for the womb that sustained all life. In their movements, they carried the wisdom of the ages, a knowledge that humanity's survival depended on its relationship with the earth, a lesson as relevant today as it was in ancient times. The element of air, intangible yet essential, has long been associated with communication, inspiration, and spiritual connection. Across cultures, priestesses linked to this element were viewed as intermediaries between the divine and the earthly. Their roles often centered on prophecy, prayer, and the invocation of unseen forces. Air, as a force that cannot be seen but is always felt, became the perfect metaphor for the divine presence and spiritual insight that these women embodied. Their dances, light and ethereal, mirrored the movement of winds and whispers, symbolizing the delicate balance between the material and the spiritual worlds. In ancient Greece, the priestesses of Delphi, known as the Pythia, embodied the essence of air as divine messengers. Stationed at the temple of Apollo, they inhaled sacred vapors believed to carry the god's words and entered trance-like states. Their movements, often described as fluid and unpredictable, mimicked the swirling winds. These dances were not merely symbolic. They were seen as physical manifestations of the prophetic messages they received. As they danced, their gestures interpreted the whispers of the divine, and their connection to the element of air was viewed as a channel for Apollo's guidance. Shamanic traditions across Siberia also demonstrate a deep reverence for air as a spiritual element. Priestesses in these cultures often engaged in ceremonial dances that mimic the flight of birds or the currents of wind. These movements symbolize their ability to travel between the physical and spiritual realms, delivering messages from ancestors or spirits. The act of dancing became a form of communication, their bodies translating the unseen forces of air into motions. In these ceremonies, air was more than a natural element. It was a pathway to divine wisdom. Air's association with inspiration and intellect is also evident in ancient Egyptian practices. Priestesses serving Ma'at, the goddess of truth and cosmic order, performed dances that symbolized the balance of air currents. These rituals often took place during important ceremonies where order needed to be restored. Their movements reflected the lightness and precision of a feather, a symbol of Ma'at's justice. Through their dances, they invoked clarity and balance, their connection to air ensuring that harmony prevailed in their communities. While each element holds its unique significance, many cultures recognize the importance of harmony among fire, water, earth, and air. This belief in elemental balance often found its ultimate expression in rituals where priestesses represented all four forces. The Aztec civilization celebrated elemental harmony in sacred ceremonies. Priestesses performed dances during festivals for Tlaloc, the god of rain, and Huitzilopochtli, the god of the sun, representing earth and air, creating a multi-elemental celebration of life's interdependence. These dances were vibrant and meticulously choreographed, with each priestess embodying an element's energy. The synchronization symbolized unity needed to maintain balance within the world, ensuring fertility, stability, and the continuation of the cosmic order. Elemental harmony rituals were prominent during seasonal transitions, where nature's balance felt fragile. In Celtic Beltane and Samhain festivals, priestesses performed dances to honor changing energies of earth, fire, water, and air, invoking blessings for the seasons to come. These dances blended elements into a cohesive narrative, reinforcing the idea that humanity's survival depended on living in harmony with nature's forces. Priestesses became living symbols of interconnectedness, reminding communities of the cosmic dance in which all participate. At the heart of the connection between women and elements lies the archetype of the sacred feminine, transcending culture and time. It represents life's generative and nurturing forces. Priestesses channeled elemental energies to bring balance, healing, and wisdom to communities. Through dances and rituals, priestesses became symbols of humanity's relationship with the divine, bridging material and spiritual realms. In many cultures, the earth was viewed as a goddess, with priestesses as her representatives, mimicking cycles of birth, growth, and renewal. The dances were acts of devotion and expressions of the sacred feminine's power to create and transform. Their connection to elements was a testament to their role as mediators of life's mysteries, honoring the divine feminine's ability to nurture and protect. The sacred feminine found expression in fire, with its dual nature of destruction and renewal. Priestesses dancing with flames embodied the fierce and protective aspects of the feminine, channeling energy to purify and transform. In water, the sacred feminine appeared as a source of creation and emotional depth, with priestesses performing dances reflecting fluid and intuitive qualities. Through these rituals, the sacred feminine was celebrated in all its forms, gentle yet powerful, nurturing yet commanding. This archetype extends beyond specific rituals to represent a universal truth. The sacred feminine connects all aspects of existence. Whether invoking Earth's stability, fire's vitality, water's renewal, or air's inspiration, rituals affirmed the sacred feminine's role as life's weaver. In their dances, priestesses told the story of humanity's reliance on nature's forces, reminding communities of the divine presence in every element. The sacred feminine, as expressed through these women, continues to inspire reverence for the natural world and its cycles. The rise of patriarchal systems and organized religion marked a turning point for priestesses and their sacred connection to the elements. Once revered as spiritual leaders, these women became targets of suppression, their practices deemed heretical or dangerous. This shift was not merely a loss for the priestesses, but a severing of humanity's spiritual relationship with nature. Despite challenges, the traditions and wisdom of these women survived, often hidden in shadow, passed down through whispers and secret rituals. In medieval Europe, the rise of Christianity brought a systematic effort to erase pagan traditions, including the sacred roles of priestesses. Women who once danced in honor of the elements found themselves branded as witches, their rituals condemned as sorcery. The Inquisition and witch trials targeted those who kept these traditions alive, forcing many into secrecy. Yet, the dances, chants, and elemental connections persisted, often disguised as folk practices or woven into Christian rituals, ensuring their survival even in the face of persecution. In other parts of the world, colonialism and cultural assimilation further eroded the roles of priestesses. Indigenous women who embodied the sacred connection to nature were often marginalized, their spiritual practices suppressed. However, these women found ways to preserve their traditions, teaching their daughters and communities in secret. Their resilience ensured that the elemental dances and rituals remained a part of their cultural identity, even if practiced away from public scrutiny. The survival of these practices speaks to their enduring power and relevance. Even in times of oppression, the wisdom of the elements could not be entirely extinguished. Today, these once-hidden traditions are being revived and celebrated, reclaiming their place in spiritual and cultural practices worldwide. The priestess's legacy, forged in both reverence and resistance, reminds us of the unbreakable bond between humanity and the natural world, a bond that, despite centuries of suppression, remains as vital as ever. In the 20th and 21st centuries, the resurgence of paganism has breathed new life into ancient traditions, reviving the sacred connection between humanity and the elements. Modern pagan movements, such as Wicca, Druidry, and various neo-pagan practices, have embraced the role of priestesses as mediators of the elements, adapting ancient rituals to contemporary spiritual needs. This revival is not just a return to old ways, but a reimagining of how the elemental forces can be celebrated and understood in the modern world. Women once again take center stage, channeling the energies of fire, water, earth, and air through dance, ritual, and intention. Modern priestesses often draw inspiration from historical practices, blending them with new interpretations. Rituals today may take place in urban parks or private homes, far removed from the sacred groves or temples of the past. Yet, the essence of these ceremonies remains the same. Fire circles, where women dance around flames to invoke transformation, echo the rituals of ancient Celtic priestesses. Water blessings at rivers or oceans harken back to the Nile's priestesses, invoking renewal and fertility. These practices demonstrate how timeless the connection between humanity and the elements truly is, evolving while retaining its core significance. One of the hallmarks of modern paganism is its inclusivity and adaptability. Priestesses are no longer confined by rigid cultural or geographical boundaries. Their roles are shaped by personal experiences and spiritual journeys. In many cases, these women act as community leaders, guiding others and connecting with the elements. Their rituals often incorporate global influences, such as the use of yoga-inspired movements to channel air or Native American smudging practices to honor earth and fire. This fusion of traditions enriches modern paganism, creating a tapestry of elemental spirituality that resonates with a diverse audience. Dance, as a physical expression of intention, influences emotional states and neural pathways. The rhythmic movements of priestesses, synchronized with elements, stimulate a meditative state, enhancing focus and connection. Studies suggest these rituals induce trance-like states, accessing deeper consciousness levels. This insight explains why dances dedicated to fire, water, earth, or air were powerful. They were symbolic and neurological tools for connection and transformation. Energy manipulation, central to spiritual traditions, parallels modern science. Quantum physics explores how intention influences energy fields, resonating with ancient ideas. Fire dances invoke transformation, water rituals for healing, and earth ceremonies for stability, focusing energy toward outcomes. Priestesses' ability to channel forces, once mystical, is now seen as an interplay of intention, movement, and environment. Modern practitioners use scientific perspectives to validate and refine rituals. The integration of breath work, visualization, and movement creates a holistic approach to honoring elements. Priestesses today are spiritual guides and students of human energy, drawing on ancient traditions and contemporary research. This fusion underscores the relevance of elemental rituals, bridging the mystical and measurable. As humanity faces environmental and social challenges, elemental rituals evolve into a call for collective action. Dances of priestesses, once honoring nature's cycles, now symbolize sustainability and renewal. These rituals remind us that our connection to elements is spiritual and essential for survival, urging respect and care. Fire, water, earth, and air are fragile, interconnected systems requiring respect. Through dances, modern priestesses offer a vision of harmony, inspiring reconnection with the natural world. Climate change, deforestation, and pollution disrupt the balance ancient cultures celebrated, giving new significance to elemental rituals. Fire circles symbolize transformation, calling for action against destruction. Water blessings highlight clean water scarcity. Earth dances mourn biodiversity loss, urging sustainable practices. Modern interpretations emphasize humanity's survival is tied to the planet's well-being, incorporating contemporary themes and technologies. Projection mapping allows priestesses to perform against dynamic backdrops illustrating elements. Music blends traditional rhythms with electronic compositions, bridging past and present. Innovations bring ancient rituals into the modern age, making them accessible and impactful globally, urging viewers to be stewards of the earth. The journey through the elements, fire, water, earth, and air, reveals a profound truth. Humanity's relationship with nature is both ancient and essential. The dances of priestesses, past and present, embody this connection, weaving stories of creation, transformation, and balance. These rituals are more than cultural artifacts. They are reminders of our place within the greater web of life. By honoring the elements, we honor the forces that sustain us, reconnecting with a sense of reverence that modern society often overlooks. The sacred dance is not just a tradition, it is a path back to harmony. The closing of the circle symbolizes the integration of what has been learned. The elements, though distinct, are interconnected, each one relying on the others to maintain balance. This harmony is mirrored in the priestesses' movements, their dances forming a cosmic rhythm that unites humanity with the natural world. As they honor fire, water, earth, and air, they teach us that to thrive, we must embrace the cycles of nature. Their rituals are lessons in humility and gratitude, qualities that are increasingly vital in a world dominated by human excess. In modern times, the sacred dance takes on new dimensions. It becomes a bridge between ancient wisdom and contemporary understanding, a call to action in the face of ecological and spiritual disconnection. Priestesses, through their rituals, remind us of the power of intention and the importance of community. They invite us to participate in the sacred dance, not as passive observers, but as active stewards of the earth. Their movements, filled with purpose and grace, inspire us to find our own rhythm within the greater cycle of life. The sacred dance of the elements is a celebration of existence, a reminder that humanity is not separate from nature, but an integral part of it. As the circle closes, it opens again, inviting us to continue the journey. The priestess's legacy lives on in every breath of air, drop of water, flicker of flame, and grain of soil. Through their dances, they have given us a timeless gift, the knowledge that harmony with the elements is not only possible, but necessary for the survival and flourishing of all life.